It was a cold March morning in Ohio when Linda woke up to the smell of rain and the soft chirping of robins outside her small, cozy home. Today was her birthday, her 58th. She smiled faintly as she set a cup of coffee on the table and stared at the old framed photograph of her only son, Michael, taken years ago when he was still a teenager, full of life, full of dreams, and full of promises. Life hadn't been easy since her husband passed away when Michael was only 12, but Linda had done everything she could to raise her boy with love, patience, and hope. Every birthday since then had been a quiet one, except for the moments when Michael would drive over bringing flowers, a card, and his big warm smile. But this year was different. There was no call, no text, no knock on the door. Just silence. She told herself he must be busy, maybe at work, maybe stuck in traffic. But somewhere deep inside, she felt something was wrong. Hours passed, and the soft hope in her heart began to fade. Finally, around 6 p.m., she heard a car pull up in the driveway. Relief washed over her. She wiped her hands on her apron and opened the door, only to see Michael standing there, not with flowers or a gift, but with an unreadable expression on his face. "Hey, Mom," he said flatly. "Can I come in?" She smiled anyway. "Of course, sweetheart, come in. I just baked your favorite lemon pie." But Michael didn't smile back. He looked around the house as if it were a stranger's place. After a long pause, he handed her a small brown envelope. "What's this?" she asked softly. "It's a check. I've been meaning to tell you something, Mom. I've sold the house." Linda froze. "What do you mean you sold the house? This is our home." He sighed, rubbing his temples. "It's not really our home anymore. I need money to start a new business, and since Dad left it in both our names, I thought it's time to move on." Her heart sank as tears welled in her eyes. You sold my home on my birthday?" she whispered. "Michael, where will I go?" But he didn't answer. He just mumbled something about getting her an apartment downtown and left, leaving her standing in the doorway with the rain pouring down behind him. That night, Linda sat alone, staring at the half-eaten lemon pie, the candlelight flickering across the empty seat beside her. That was the night her heart broke completely. Days turned into weeks, and the house was emptied, stripped of laughter, memories, and warmth. Linda moved into a small apartment above a laundromat where the hum of washing machines replaced the sound of her son's laughter. She tried to stay strong. She volunteered at the local shelter, read books, and wrote letters she never sent. But every birthday she lit a candle and whispered, "I still love you, Michael." Years passed. Life grew quieter, slower. Then one afternoon, a letter arrived. Handwritten, old-fashioned, with Michael's name on it. Her hands trembled as she opened it. "Mom, I don't know if you'll even read this. I've made a terrible mistake. The business failed, the friends I trusted turned away, and I lost everything. I thought success was more important than love, but now I realize the only thing I truly lost was you. I drove by the old house last week. It's falling apart, but all I could see was you in the kitchen waiting for me. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm coming home if you will still have me." Tears streamed down her cheeks as she read every word. For the first time in years, her heart felt alive again. The next morning, there was a knock on her door. She opened it, and there he was. Older, thinner, eyes filled with regret. He tried to speak, but before he could, she stepped forward and wrapped her arms around him. "You came home," she whispered. "That's the only gift I ever wanted." They stood there for a long time, both crying, the years of silence melting into forgiveness. Later that evening, they sat by the window, drinking coffee as the sun dipped below the horizon. Michael told her about the years he wasted chasing wealth, about the loneliness that followed him everywhere.
Linda listened, her eyes soft but sad. She said, "We all make mistakes, but love is what brings us back." From that day on, Michael never missed a birthday again. Every year he'd bring her lemon pie, not store-bought, but baked by his own hands. And every time she blew out the candles, she whispered a quiet thank you to the universe for giving her a second chance to hold her son again. The pain of the past never fully left, but forgiveness made it bearable. Linda lived to see her 75th birthday, surrounded by family, laughter, and the warmth of her son's love restored. And when she finally passed peacefully in her sleep, Michael found a note on her bedside table that read, "My sweetest boy, the greatest gift you ever gave me was coming home." He held it close to his heart and whispered, "Happy birthday, Mom." The wind outside carried his words away, but in that small apartment where her love still lingered, it felt as though she was smiling. Because after all the years, she finally had her gift.